Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name's Michelle and I call myself the Beauty Treasure Hunter. I have some beauty treasures for you today, ranging from Dollar Tree to drugstore to discount store and a few high-end Christmas gifts from my daughter to share with you. So if you want to see how I got this look with my green and how I'm so shiny, which we'll talk about, then keep watching. All right, let's get started. I've already done quite a bit. I've cleansed, toned, treated, and I've not yet moisturized. I want to talk to you about what I use to do all those things. I'm really stuck on lately a cleansing oil by Bioderma that's really meant for body, face, and hands. And it comes in this huge container, 33.8 fluid ounces. And I got started on this when I got mine at a salvage store. It had a broken pump. And it normally sells for like over $30 on Amazon for that large bottle. And I got mine for $1.99 and just put a new pump in it myself. And then in Marshall's or TJ Maxx a couple of weeks ago, I found the same size bottle of Bioderma cleansing gel that is also meant for body, face, and hands. So I've been using that on my face as well, especially like at night. I will do the cleansing oil and to get off my makeup, and then also do a squirt of the cleansing gel to kind of just get it all off. And I have loved it. And I just do the oil in the morning, so that's my cleanse step. Then for my toning step, I use this milky toner, and I think it's a rice toner, and I think it's by Cica. And I have found this on Amazon. The other bottle that I have upstairs is the strawberry kind. And I love these. It's not totally watery. It's a little bit thicker than that. And my other bottle I've used like this much. So I was thrilled to find another one at Marshall's not long ago. So that's my tone step. Now for my treat step, I do a couple of different things. Let's see, at night, it's mainly adapalene, and I started using this. I found it in a salvage store, and it was like $1.99 for the larger tube, which is 1.6 ounces. They do make a smaller tube. Those usually run about 10, and these usually run about 20. But I was able to find like a multi-pack on eBay, and they were all sealed and not expired, and these average out, when I do it that way, to about $10 a piece, and they last a long time. I do adapalene because it is a form of a retinoid that my skin can handle. I have pretty sensitive skin, and I've tried tretinoin before, and I just peeled and got irritated, even if I only did it, a couple times a week. I tried the Neutrogena retinol cream, and that was too strong too, but I can really tolerate this well. The other thing that I like to do is this azelaic acid by The Ordinary, and I had gotten away from doing this. My daughter had told me, "Oh, this is what you need to kind of brighten up your redness." She recommended this for rosacea, so I've started doing it again, and I woke up really clear this morning after just kind of layering it on last night. So that's also going to be my treat step today. So cleanse, tone, treat. The next step is moisturize. At night, I like to do all kinds of, I like the black snail creams and emulsions. But today, underneath my makeup, not long ago, Tati recommended the CeraVe night cream for underneath your makeup during the day. So I'm going to dab a little bit of that on. I really do like this, especially during winter. And I had already also put on my good old Biore watery essence, because that's kind of like a serum too. but I'm gonna double up because I found a new, well, new to me, bronzing drops that are also SPF 50. And I found these at Ross this week. It says Studio Tone SPF 50. And the reason I got these was because I saw the color. Look at that beautiful light color. So I'm gonna do a step where I get some bronzing drops in there, but also add some more sunscreen, and that's just a win-win. It looks like this. I looked them up, and you can get them on Amazon. I saw them in a couple of different places. One was for like $28.99, and the other one was for $24.99, but I got mine at Ross for $14.99. So I'm hoping when I go back they have some more. All right, so CTTM, cleanse, tone, treat, moisturize, and then if it's in the morning, also sunscreen. So CTTMS. That has really helped me keep it all straight. Now I got some eyeshadow primer at the Dollar Tree that I wanted to try out. And it reminds me, it's got a little bit of a glow to it. Kind of reminds me of the Sin color of the eyeshadow primer by Urban Decay. So I'm not going to count on this to like cover up anything, but it's very moisturizing. And sometimes when I put on like my concealer or, you know, my Morphe cream shadow there, it's a little bit dry. And dry eyelids and wrinkly eyelids, it's not very nice. So this will help moisturize. So I think I'll compare today. I have the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly, and I've heard people talk about how you know, pots dry up, but if you will take just clean, sanitize the end of a brush or skinny brush and stir it up and press it back down, it really works. This is also, I'm going to compare it to Moira, a pot, it's not a concealer, it's a shadow. So here's the MAC, here's the Moira, and it is in the color Rose Sand. It's number 3. So I'm going to use the Moira, and I've had to stir it up, and that just moisturizes it again. Mixes it all up. But the color of the Painterly and the Rose Sand is dead on. Always do just a little bit near the lash line, in case I want to go in there and use shadow as my liner. Okay, veins are pretty well covered. I'm going to use a brow powder today. LA Colors. This one's in medium. Really do like brow powder. And I'm going to use the middle medium brown and this kind of charcoal gray color. Adding that gray in there kind of helps it to not be too warm. Now, because my brows can grow pretty gnarly, pretty long, I do have to brush them up and trim them off, but I also like to kind of pat them down with some gel. The Ardell Brow Glue is my favorite. And I don't do it very heavily, just light brush through and a little pat down. I've really been stuck on Lip Stain, and I'm gonna do this one by Wet n Wild. This is the stain liner. This one's in the shade Nude Tights. It's gonna look dark at first, but then I'm gonna blot it. I love how these are shaped, like flat. think I'm going to go ahead and fill it in too. That's where you can turn it on the fat side. So now I'm going to blot that a little bit. And I'm going to use a couple of Wet n Wild lipsticks. And the first one is Close Off. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to do that around the primer. And then on the inside, I'm going to go in with the matte that is called Skinny Dipping. It looks like this. It's a little bit lighter. And then at the end, I'll add a little sparkle too. Because right now I think I'm looking a little bit gray. See how I can brighten that up. This is by Moira. It is the Glow Getter Hydrating Lip Oil in Tickled Pink. So let's see if this brightens me up some so I don't look dead. Okay, now I think I look sparkly and dead. So I have one other trick up my sleeve. Let's see. Let's try some Lanolin, the Rose Gold Ointment 101. But this is the red one, Rosé. Okay, that's a little better. I might have to brighten it up again at the end. Okay, now for eyeshadow, you can still get this, I think on Walmart.com. This is Lottie London. They are going out of business, but this is called the Olives. Now I have really been liking green eyeshadow lately, so this has some pretty greens in there. I'm going to start with the lightest matte. Okay, now I'm going to kind of mix this darker brown and this kind of peachy color to do a crease shade. Don't forget that you can do that you can mix colors. So I like to do crease and then circles on the outside. So the way I mix, I do back and forth. Now I'm going to take a pencil brush, and the middle one is this metallic minty olive. I'm going to go underneath. I'm going to draw in this triangle right now, because what I want to do is draw a straight line there. Okay, now I'm going to go in. I have like an olive and a more teal, and so I'm going to mix the two. And just go right near the lash line. I'm going to keep going up. I have another kind of shimmery green. I'm going to go above that with. I'm just playing. My oldest daughter is a pharmacist, but she loves makeup too. And we talk about how we don't like it. Would be boring for us if we just did the same thing every day. We enjoy kind of mixing it up. So I know this this palette is still on sale at Walmart.com, and it's like, I want to say $7.12 right now. And you know I have to have a sparkle. Not long ago at my salvage store, I found this hourglass for $1.99. And it is the Scattered Light in the shade Reflect. Comes with a little lid on the top. I'm going to do it just in the center. Then I think I'll do my pat 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 with what I have left. And I'm going to clean up the edges. This is just a baby wipe. I go through several baby wipes each makeup session. And I'm going to do my concealer before I do my lower lashes. I've really been liking the Soft Glam by e.l.f. They're brand new. They're only $5. I'm going to go in first with the color corrector that is the light pink, just on my lowest places. And I'm using shade 25 light neutral, but I've ordered a shade 20. I'd like something a little bit lighter than this, I think. And I got a brush set by Katie Jane Hughes at Marshall's. This is called the Spectrum set. It had like 6 brushes and it was on my clearance for $10, and I just couldn't refuse. Anytime I see a kitten paw, I like to compare them to the Angie Hot and Flashy. Plus, the more brushes I have, the less I have to wash, or the less often. Say that. I have more to wash, but less often. You know, I always like to take I like to warm up my fingers with some friction there. I think I'll go ahead and set H2O Lock LA Girl. This powder feels cooling and it has moisture, so it's going to keep my under eyes moisturized. And let's see, right before I do my makeup, my foundation, I'm going to sneak on some e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. Probably should have already done this, but I like this because of the Cica. It's also very calming for rosacea. And I don't put this everywhere, just in my T-zone. And I got some of the Extensionist mascara because everybody's been talking about how great it is, and it does really lengthen, but it keeps mine really fine. So I'm gonna try some Girl Lash Blast Primer underneath. Gonna see if this helps add some volume. Like if I could only have one kind of makeup, and I don't know if lashes qualify as makeup, but if I couldn't have lashes, I would have to have mascara because my lashes are blonde and fine and invisible. And normally I like to get up really close to my mirror, but I am doing this just by looking in my monitor. So I wouldn't be surprised if I stabbed myself in the eye or something. Okay, I do think that has helped. So if you have a mascara and you really like the length it gives but wish that it thickened a little bit more, then you might want to try some primer underneath too. I feel like I need to make them dry. I feel like if I sneeze that it would go everywhere right now. Okay, now I'm going to use a skin tint that I love. It is the CoverGirl Blurring Skin Tint, and oh my gosh, it is so good on my mature skin. I have 2 shades, 415 and 410. Let's see, one's light neutral and fair neutral. I think I'm gonna go light neutral, and I'm just gonna use my fingers today. I love this because of it. I mean, it really does blur. I should have done just half so you can see. I do not have a fancy camera. I am using a webcam that records in 4K. So mine isn't as good at focusing as the really expensive ones, which I can't afford just yet. That's my little test spot back there. If I can get that covered, it's got good coverage. I like to press into the pores. And this does seem to be buildable, so if you need to build it up in certain areas, you can. I always lose lids. Does anybody else do that? All right, now I'm going to show you a couple of gems that I have from the Dollar Tree. And you may not be able to find this one, but I found this just within the week, and it's kind of left over from a bigger display they had. This is the Mercerie Pro, and it's the tinted moisturizer, but all they had left were the dark ones. I think this sold out pretty fast, and they were $4 each at the Dollar Tree. So, but here's what it looks like. I'm going to use this on half of my face as the contour bronzer. Okay. I'm going to kind of coat my brush here and use it just like I would if I were using a bronzer stick. I'll go back and blend in a moment. I didn't mean to do that side of my nose because I've got one more to show you. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to the flat side and blend this out. I like to do circles. Okay, now the other one I have to show you is the liquid bronzer. This one is by Ioni. It is the one that's in the end cap displays right now. And here's what it looks like. And it reminds me of the e.l.f. liquid camo bronzer. And this one is a smidge cooler than the other shade, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like. I was just blown away by how well both of those blend out. So if you've not been into contouring or bronzer, you might want to try this. This is a great way to dip your feet into that without risking a lot of money. They were $1.25. Well, this one was $1.25. And this one was still $4. But look how much you get, a whole bunch. I think it's a full ounce. It's 30 milliliters. Yeah, 1 full ounce. I'm going to clean off my hand because that was too much. So a little bit goes a long way. Okay, now this is the Mary Claire liquid blush that's at the Dollar Tree right now. This one's in Dusty Pink. It is the one that has the little sponge tip. And I'm going to tab that on and blend with my Moda brush from Walmart. And I really like this because it blends out so well. It's like goof proof. I like to do blush everywhere that the sun would get me. And I'm going to kind of set that with my CoverGirl Skin Enhancer, the blush one I really like. They do have a little bit of a glow. The bronzer does too, and I just don't like glow on a bronzer. And this is an angled brush by Japanesque that I got at Marshall's. A little bit over the nose. A bit near the eye. And the temples. Now for bronzer today, I'm going to use some by Essence. I love this one because it's in a huge pan. It is the Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder, and it is in 03 Chocolate Sundae. Love my gigantic Real Techniques brush. This one's 262. I almost like to use my bronzer as a setting powder. Sometimes I think my mouth area looks too white. The only area I like to keep pale is underneath the cheek or underneath the cheekbone to get up in my hairline. My hair is thinner than it used to be. Been squirting some minoxidil up there. My sister and I have talked, and we both take estradiol, which I highly recommend, hormone replacement therapy. I feel like normal again. I tried to tough it out for it was about 6 months before I said, help. I hate the way I feel. I had a complete radical hysterectomy, and I was almost finished anyway, and the hot flashes were hell, and yeah, estradiol is fantastic stuff. But I take a half a milligram, 0.5 milligrams of estradiol a day, and I occasionally use the cream as needed. Okay, the last thing, no, second to last thing, I am going to use some of my Morphe Cloud Light Powder. This is the lightest one in Dawn. And this is technically setting powder. And to me, what that means is it really should just finish off filling in the pores. And I think maybe this has a tad of a sheen to it, but nothing blinding. And now I'm going to use my Lottie London Shimmer Squad highlighter. You can still get this. I think it's on Walmart.com. And I love to use a little fan brush. Let's see, I wonder what color I should use today. Normally, I would go in with like the champagne or this one, pearl. I think maybe the pink. I'm going to live on the wild side and do the pink. And if it's a good highlighter, you should be able to get away with any of those colors. And it'll just be just a very subtle difference. I like to do my wrinkle up there. I think it detracts away from the wrinkle. Maybe you don't notice the wrinkle as much. You just notice the shimmer. You know the crab in the movie Moana? If you don't, I wish grandchildren for you so you can watch Moana, because the crab says, "I'm so shiny."
I'd rather be shiny.
Because he's collected all the treasures, you know, from the shipwrecks and put them all over himself. And so he's an encrusted crab, and he looks so shiny. But I think of that every time I look shiny. Now, my favorite thing for the entire year of 2025, and I just discovered it on the end because my daughter gave it to me for Christmas. It is the Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm. And you want to go very light with it. I think I have done 3 sprays, and that is like perfect. I did like 5 yesterday, and I was feeling a little bit dry, but this can take, I'm convinced it can take your worst foundation and make it beautiful. I've been trying that lately, picking out just the ones I just, really don't like. And I'm telling you, it's totally worth the investment if you have a stash of foundations that did not work. Okay, I'm going to do 3. 1 down the middle, and that's it. Okay, to finish up, I thought my lips looked a little dead, so I went in with another matte lipstick by Kokie in 55 Sienna. Kind of toned that down a little bit. I also took a Christmas present from my daughter, this Too Faced eyeshadow stick. It's really, really glittery, and put it right there in my inner corners. And I thought I could get it by maybe without doing my Cars Land powder, but I can't. It really makes your pores disappear. So I did that. And then I thought I looked a little bit dry. So to melt it all back together, I did the Prime and Refresh by CoverGirl, the milky spray, nourishing milk. Now I feel done. So this is my final look for the day. I like the green. I'm so shiny. I'm excited because today is thrifting day. So I get to go see what I can find out of the Amazon returns bin at my favorite salvage store. Thank you for watching. If you found me, you're one of the very first ones, and I'm getting better at replying to comments. So please leave me a comment. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. Tell your friends to watch. If you have any other friends who like to watch relaxing makeup get ready with me's, and get some tips and beauty treasures that you might be able to find in your area along the way. So thanks for watching, and I hope you see me next time.